Hey, welcome back. Video 46 of the series here, YouTube clones. This is a small thing that we're doing in this video, but it brings up a lot of like pain in the ass things that you have to do. But we're just trying to get this displayed time on the thumbnail in our list, right? Seems like it wouldn't be that hard to do, but it turns out it's a bitch. So first thing is, in order to even get the duration of a video, unless you have this MPEG processing software on your server, which I looked into a little bit, and it's I don't have it on the Cloud9, and I don't know much about it. I'm not someone that works with video. This is the first time I've even really done anything with videos besides just watch them. But there's this MPEG thing that you can do a lot of stuff with video files. Leaving that aside, how do you do it with just JavaScript, straight up? I'll show you. So first thing we want to have is a duration property. It's a number. It's in our video model. Default 0. I went through in the database. I only had 5 videos in there. I added the duration as 0. Otherwise, you'd have to delete them and recreate, your new database with the duration property. Otherwise, you might run into errors if there's no duration at all, depending on how you set up your code and what order. But I just went through my database and boom, added 0 for duration. It's easy to do in MLab. You can just edit your database. Anyway, so back in here, now we got to add duration to the video here. It's a float by your GraphQL standards. And then I did a set duration that takes the video ID and it takes the duration, which is a float, and just reproduces the video. And I did a find one update, very similar to things we've done before. Where you can do this with Mongoose. Just find one update, you get a filter that finds it, and then you get your update and updates it. Pretty self-explanatory if you've seen the other videos. Then where it gets a little bit funky is when we get in here. So I don't think video main really comes into play in this one. No, video main doesn't come into play. Obviously you got to set up you got to add your set duration mutation, give it a name, set duration, write it out here. You follow along again, that's nothing new. What's tricky though is, I didn't realize this, but now that we've implemented the links over here, you were no longer getting, say I clicked and went to this video, you used to not be getting a view. Now you are, it's just not updating. But that's a bad example. Basically what was happening was switching between videos in this manner. Before we were in the My Channel and the videos, if we're in My Channel and in videos, when you clicked on one of these, Emily's birthday party or whatever, it would run through the adding a view. So here you can see 62 views. I just had to send it through this component. But you see it added the view. And that's because it was getting called the component did mount. And that's how we were handling timed videos. If there was a time parameter in the URL, it was being scanned and the component did mount. And when you're switching from the channel to the video routes, you're getting a component did mount every single time. That was before we put in the links right here within the component. So you're not getting a component did mount call on that. That's not getting you a component did mount call for the video component. If we had broken off just that video screen into its own component, and set it up as a class component, then we would get a component did mount. But that's not how we have it set up. And instead of writing all that code and separating that out into yet another piece, which we've already got enough pieces, we don't need to piece everything down smaller. Sometimes that just gets to be a pain in the butt. But the approach I did is I did a component did mount that takes previous props, previous state, and I can say if basically by saying the props, the match, the params, the video ID, we're just talking about the actual ID of the video that we're using to look it up. So if that changes from the previous prop to the new prop, if they're not the same anymore, then we're gonna call the handle add view, and then we're gonna call this set duration function, right? So it gets called the initial time, and then this no longer gets called when you're linking on the side. So every other time we're now calling it through the component did update. That's a pretty efficient way to do it from what I've seen. And so this handle set duration is pretty simple, just like most other stuff. Set duration, and maybe we can put another screen here. So everything's going to start when you save your video. It's going to start with 0, right? So this doesn't have. Notice how this doesn't have one. So someone has to load the video up before it reads the time. That's just the way it goes. In theory, you could do something. Maybe when uploaded, you could like move the video way off to the side of the screen and delay something for a second, and then get the reading when you upload. As soon as the person uploads the video, technically, you could probably work something in behind everything that was invisible, or maybe set the visibility to 0 or none or whatever, and then get the duration like that. That was another method, but this just seemed a lot less finicky, and this is the approach I took. So basically, that set timeout gets called on that function. That set timeout gets called after 3 seconds. So you're basically assuming someone's not clicking like a madman through here. So you're gonna get 3 seconds after they click a video, right? So as long as the duration isn't 0, if the duration equals 0, then we're going to execute it. So once it's set to a certain amount of seconds, then it's no longer going to call it. It's not going to waste its time. So it's just going to divert it. So it's a call to the backend. We don't need to make the call to the backend if it's already set. So we get the video ID from how we always get it. We get the duration, that video element. That's why we have to wait the 3 seconds, because that video element ref does not get set until some amount of time, a second, maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I feel safe. Best way I can figure out to do it. And then the ref is there from our React element, so we can say that video element, get the duration. Again, watch previous videos for that. And then we just set it with our query there. We refetch our query. So what should happen is, see this video, this is another 30-second video. It's the same video as this. This is why they're all the same, because I only had one video that I wanted to be patient enough to upload, and now I have a 30-second clip that's easy to upload. But anyway, click on that, and boom, after 3 seconds, it should make its read, and boom, there you see it. Rewind the video and go back. You can see this 30 seconds at the bottom pops in after 3 seconds, because whenever that function's called, it refetches the query, and you're going to get the update on the view, and you're going to get the update on your time right there. And in order to get that in there, again, this won't work on like a cell phone or anything. Our setup is very tailored as of right now. We don't have any moving parts as far as whatchamacallit's there where the screen adapts. We don't have any media queries, I guess you want to call them. And then so in our video list, I just put this in put the poster image, and then this, if there is a duration, what you see the time we do, if it's 0, we don't want to display anything. But then I have a format time function that I brought in here, that we've had used before, that converts to seconds, and put all that weird CSS, and you're good.